Howdy, YouTube! I can see that Hellstar from 1,000 miles away. Wait a minute. Ain't they supposed to be like an astronomical unit away or something? Time for Homebrew Hoedown! Today's Hoedown is on a man very near and dear to our little game. Even if you don't know him, you've almost certainly used his works if you've used any homebrew at all for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, regardless of edition. If you haven't, chances are you might know him from his awesome paper printable models. Dave Grapham, aka DagobahDave, is a prolific creator of tools for fans of Warhammer, wargaming, and roleplay in general to use. On his personal site, he offers up a ton of papercraft models that are bang on to the style we're all looking for. These days, Grapham's works can still be found on the Winds of Chaos website, though these days more than a few links have decayed and need the Wayback Machine to be accessed. But my first experience with Grapham's work was back when I used to DM 2nd edition. I was looking for a bigger list of Doomings and I found his expanded character module, which has a D1000 list of Doomings. While some of these are a little lackluster, mainly due to being way too specific, I think the vast majority are cool and very fitting or humorous, and I recommend everybody uses this chart when genning up their characters and giving their Doomings. The ECM itself is also useful for a ton of other reasons. It's got a bunch of stuff for all editions, but particularly it's geared towards 2nd, since it was written during that time. It contains an enhanced character generator with a complete random career chart using all the books ever printed for 2nd, and it tells you which books and which page to find each career. Based on your career group, it also lists various additional starting trappings. One thing that is sort of neat is that it does delineate footwear into boots, shoes, or sandals, offering benefits and flaws. It also offers that when barefoot, people like elves and halflings are naturally quieter than humans or dwarves as well. Further along, there's a bigger table of random trappings, which are really fun and add a little bit of lore to your character and don't contain any rune fangs or beastmen peni. I find they add a little extra oomph and are overall fun additions to your party's PCs. And it even helps you justify why you have it if you lack the creative fortitude to do so, or if you just want to leave it up to the dice gods. There is a little spot for your birth date, and it is forward compatible with 4E's star sign system. There's also a thing to give older characters more skills or potentially talents, giving a positive trade-off to the skill deprecation of aging. This following bit might be a bit too much detail for some, but there are tables that help delineate your character's appearance and make them a bit more unique. I do really like the distinguishing mark table. It isn't too crazy, which makes the punitive disfigurement table even funnier, as it encourages you to slap anyone who complains about these pretty mild distinguishing marks with one of these babies. I mean, even some of these aren't terrible. After that is a small bit, possibly good for people new to the setting, that helps generate your character's primary deity that they worship, if any. But this section also contains the goated dooming table. We have a section for fleshing out a character's family, which is incredibly helpful if you're doing a campaign that is more focused on the characters themselves. I highly encourage that DM and player do this part together, as so many stories can be opened up and made to feel more lived in with the inclusion of a character's family, especially in a setting as gritty and dangerous as Warhammer Fantasy.
My parents are dead.
The friend and enemy section, obviously, gives your character a friend and enemy. Pretty straightforward, but I think it is very good and can add a lot to a campaign and a character. For example, I had a character who rolled Degenerate, which makes you start with a debt equal to 10 times your starting wealth. So, due to another funny roll, he started out 80 crowns in debt. In combination with both of his parents being dead and his career being rolled as fence, a picture starts to emerge, does it not? The rest is a small section on personal heraldry, good for any noble characters, a section on point buy for care gen, and finally, a part on aging. The ECM is overall one of his biggest works, but is by no means his only work. His next biggest piece, in my opinion, is the Book of Imperial Names, which I also stumbled upon without realizing it was made by the same guy. It is a D1000 table for first names, for men and women, as well as surnames, a bunch of other stuff like vocations, a few other tables, but mostly it's the best resource for a random name, in my opinion, for humans in Warhammer, and everyone should use it. It is a great resource for making your campaign more authentically Germanic sounding. He has some neat materials on things like weather, road, and river conditions. I do want to make some variants on the weather table for each Imperial province tailored to those regional differences, but who knows when I'll ever get around to that. There is a neat little bit in regards to the appearance and attributes of Morsleeve on a given night, which seems pretty fun, but I haven't actually had the chance to use it yet. He also has a fun little book, Hugelstein's Curiosities, which details an eccentric merchant shop. The last bit I want to talk about is his tables on cuisines and books. Cuisine of the Empire details quite a lot of possible dishes one might find, with some delineation as to desserts and special tables for riverside cuisine and seafood, as well as beverages. I like this table, and I pair it with a custom enjoyment table I've made, as I think especially on grand journeys, the food, drugs,
gallon of PCP.
and experiences an adventurer enjoys helps paint their adventures just as much as the blood of their enemies does.
I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding.
Books and Printed Matters is a D100 table of actually 100 books. Built for 2nd edition, it is easily portable to any other edition. I think this is some really good stuff, as it adds interesting and potentially valuable loot. It also grounds the roleplay in a way that I feel would further immerse a player. This isn't a time of internet and free knowledge. This is a time of trade secrets and professional gatekeeping, literally and figuratively. Now, with Dave's permission, I have been porting over some of his stuff to Foundry Virtual Tabletop. Cuisine of the Empire is done, and has some added menu functionality with better roll tables. Books and Printed Matter is about halfway done, and I have some placeholder AI garbage art to help add to the appeal. Eventually, I would very much like to pay actual artists to redo these covers. I would also like to appropriately price all the foods and books, and add in a bunch of other things like regional cuisine tables by province, max skill level to be gleaned from each book, and a few other tismlings of mine. Right now, however, Cuisine of the Empire for Foundry is available for free on my Patreon. Everything is free on my Patreon, actually. If you want to enjoy my videos and you want to help support the channel, consider becoming a channel member or following me on my Patreon. Every dollar helps, but again, I don't lock any of this stuff behind a paywall. At least not yet. Ideally, I'd like to do what Dave does, and offer up a lot of 3D models, done up in Blender, for use with things like Tailspire or Tabletop Sim, and offering those up to the community to enjoy, for free. For now, I still have a long way to go, but I hope to one day live up to the example that this absolute legend has set for the community. That about wraps up this Hoedown. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your continued support, everybody. I'll see you in the next one, and in the meantime, happy Cinco de Mayo, happy Mother's Day, and I know it's been a while, but please, don't kill yourself. Oh, and please check out my new video.